We can now keep the tiny human brains that we grow from stem cells alive for 10 months, and they develop into something that is far more similar to a preterm baby than we had seen before. And I think it's time we address what happens if they reach consciousness. Dr. Alison Moultrie managed to keep them alive for 10 months. When our brains are developing, they're not in isolation. They're inside our skulls, and our bodies are inside of our mothers. We require hormones, and a lot of the guiding that happens in our bodies doesn't happen in the brain organoids. What they found is that they started to have complex neural signals, not just the kinds that we might see in a coma patient, but as they kept them alive for longer, they developed much more complex brain waves that fired more similarly to what we see in a preterm baby. In fact, the longer that they're kept alive, the more complex their brainwaves become. We are, of course, still in delta brainwave territory, which is what we see in coma patients when you're sleeping and not in REM sleep, and preterm babies. But this lab is trying to combine them with vascular organoids, which should allow them to be kept alive indefinitely, because that is the limit. Lacking a circulatory system, they always perish of hypoxia. We're also talking about organoids that haven't been trained. As we're putting them on computer chips, they're now experiencing things, developing around those tasks. I made a video some time ago about when I conversed with Cortical Labs, and they claimed that they're sentient. I would agree with that. The most basal level of sentience is the ability to perceive and then react, which they can do. As they're developing, consciousness will be a concern eventually, which a lot of scientists have considered protocols for what we should do if we reach consciousness. Many think that it is unethical to experiment on the human brain in this matter at all.